Hello, in this video I want to cover the subject: what kind of spirits, the counterfeit spirits, are invading churches in Africa. Now, it's not just Africa, but on a global level, Christianity has become rather bizarre. It's become sexual. It's become a knocking shop. In this picture, you see this fake pastor who actually somehow persuade, quote unquote, these Christian women to strip for Jesus Christ. And you begin to have to question the motives of these women who actually do this. Because do they not know their own Bibles? Is there something more deeper involved in these kind of cults? I am not sure what kind of people would actually allow themselves to be persuaded to strip off in the name of the anointing experience. You have to have a certain mindset or vulnerability. If you can allow a pastor to program you in which to behave in a bizarre and outlandish manner. It is no wonder that a lot of religious organizations like this, such as Jehovah's Witnesses, Seventh-day Adventism, and even some horrible Pentecostal religious organizations, they seem to attract people who are vulnerable and cannot reason logically or psychologically or even understand the Bible in its proper context. And thus, when you are faced with individuals like this, these people will do anything, in order, quote unquote, to be saved. And it is quite disgraceful, because if you can walk into someone's mind so easily that they end up doing this. Here in this picture you see a woman who, having allowed the pastor to put his penis into her mouth and claimed it was holy milk, the man had the nerve to blaspheme in a house of God, quote unquote. I don't believe it's a house of God. And these women, mostly women, I'm not sure what jobs they do, whether they're mentally ill, because what person in their right minds would allow their brain to be taken over to such degree that you all line up in the queue waiting to suck the pastor's penis because he claims that somehow his semen has got some holy milk inside of it. These women must be married, them somebody's children, somebody's daughters, somebody's mothers, and somehow he's managed to brainwash these women. Are they mental patients? Do they have mental problems to actually allow themselves to fall for this religious game, this pimping game? Because that's what it is. Yeah, there are many Christian women around the world, quote unquote, who fall for this nonsense. And this bizarre behavior in these churches, they're getting worse and worse. Here in the clip, a pastor tells women, I think it's in Guyana, somewhere in South Africa, I'm sure it's South Africa, to come to church without any underwear because Jesus will penetrate them. And I just don't believe that these women are Christians, because what kind of Jesus do these women think that they are worshipping? How do they really perceive Christ if they are allowing his name to be blasphemed in this horrible and despicable fashion? Something does not really add up. But the church has become depraved, it's become immoral. Yet these people go off into tongues, they're claiming that they somehow speak in this glossier, unknown language to angels, and yet this vile thing goes on around the world. It's not just Africa. Fornication, adultery is rampant in the churches, and yet these people are speaking in tongues. In my book, I actually go into great depth to how you can tell when tongues are fake, etc., and also my experience why I left Christianity. I realized that a lot of organized Christianity is nothing more than a money-making scam. There's a lot of adultery, fornication that goes on. I also go into great details why a lot of so-called miracles in churches have to be fake. If you can show me one genuine miracle where one person is raised from the dead, and the reason being is because most Christians in the West and sadly in Africa are fake. If you show me one genuine miracle, just one, and you cannot. In this book, you'll also find chapters on how to tell if your religious organization are using brainwashing techniques. In fact, I'm sure there's 2 chapters devoted to how to tell if you've been spiritually abused, and if your church or pastor is using brainwashing techniques. It's a very powerful book. Go out and get it.